Thanks so much for joining this stream. Make sure you check below and hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. The lights are on, the cameras are rolling, and we're ready to go live. So make sure you comment and ask as many questions as you can. That makes this experience better and it lets the algorithm know that this is engaging, and so it goes ahead and invites other people into the stream as well. So thank you very much for making this channel what it is. Now let's compare some e-ink tablets. Very warm welcome to you all, and yeah, I'm really excited to go live today, and we're going to look at the three kind of main tablet brands here. I've got the Supernote in the middle here, and I've got the reMarkable Paper Pro here, and representing Boox, I've got the Note Max. I'm going to talk about the brands. I'm going to decide which one wins out of the three kind of core uses of e-ink. That is note taking, that's reading, and that's writing. So which is going to be the best out of those? Let me know in the chat already which one you think will win out of those. And also today, well, here in the middle here, I have got the top 10 as of September, my top 10 e-ink tablets. And I wonder if there's going to be a change to that order, because I'm going to put into that the Manta and the Note Max today. So what's going to win out of those? What do you all expect? I wonder. Now, actually, I asked just the other day, I asked, what do you expect to see? Which one do you expect for me to, which one do you expect for me to put on the top? And actually the poll says Manta is going to go on top, followed by the Go 10.3. So this is me asking, what do you think I'm going to put on top? And actually all thinking Manta is going to come out number one. But actually when you look in the comments under here, which I think are quite telling really, it depends on the use case. And also, what about the Note F4C? Yeah, I just said after that, I've got to draw the line somewhere really, and the Note F4C hasn't beaten out the Go 10.3, but it certainly could be the best for some people, couldn't it? And then Carlos says, you're going to recommend one of the books because you're into e-ink productivity. I said, well, are you saying I'm too predictable? He says, no, consistent. And I think I am consistent. But one of the things that we're going to see today is we're going to see whether or not actually that number one changes based on my use case when I've been using these things at work. And wow, yeah, there's already been 22 people voted on today. Which one do they think should be the top out of these three when we go through this comparison today? So I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to hear your opinions. Anil, I haven't actually been checking the score, but I guess that's bad news. I'm going to probably just watch the highlights afterwards. Great to see you, Christina. Lovely to see everybody here. And Dave says, I reckon the Go 10.3 is going to remain in the top spot. And Jack says, I think in the chart, the Note Max might win because of the use case of using e-inks. You're relying on a lot of different apps. I certainly am, not just reading and writing. So we will see. I just want to say a massive thank you, though. This is kind of my 50,000 subscriber bash tonight. So thank you very much for 50,000 subscribers. I can't really believe that. It's a bit unfathomable, isn't it, that 50,000 people have hit that button. So I'd love to be able to get to 100,000 and get that, you know, that makes me a YouTuber, doesn't it, if I've got a silver play button behind me on the wall. Could you imagine that? So just double check for me, please, that you are subscribed down underneath this video, and that would be really, I'd be really grateful. Just to say, you know, about 10 years ago I started making videos here about physics, and about 5 years ago I switched from making them about physics onto about tech, and that was a bit of a difficult decision to make. If I did have unlimited time, I'd still be making both physics and the tech videos as well. I'd probably have a separate channel. If I had loads of time, I'd go back and I would actually remake all the physics content from start. But I kind of felt I'd covered all that content. And in the end, it's been a great decision to switch that, because here we are having this type of chat, and I absolutely love this. I really do. So go ahead and check you're subscribed, and we will be, I'll be bringing a a video every couple of days for the next couple of months. I'm going to relax off the video every day that I was going through most of autumn, and it's going to be every couple of days, and I'm going to take my time over some more of them a little bit more. And thank you very much, appreciate that. Thanks for the congrats. Jack, I saw you've been making some content yourself, and I hope you enjoy that. And it's a really, really exciting thing to get into. I recommend it to you all to make your own bit of content, to share what you think about things like this. It's really, really good. Interesting. So great stuff. Yeah, side by side on the Macs is a great option, absolutely. And yeah, Go 10.3, great value. Yeah, open-ended Android system, absolutely. Great options for books, wherever you might purchase them. Great idea. Lots of people can't see the Manta losing this one. The Note Max might be the best all-rounder. My guess is the Manta won't reach the first place due to its high price. That is true. Certainly, I don't think there's going to be any change to the best value for money. The Go 10.3 is certainly that. We're going to focus in on these three devices today. We're going to really look in detail at the three of these, representing as they are the three main e-ink tablet companies, if you like, reMarkable, Supernote, and Boox. I mean, you could call the Kindle Scribe a main e-ink tablet company, couldn't you? But for me, in my opinion, the Kindle Scribe is really the option if you do want to save a few bucks. Is a really good option for that reason. Yeah, so I certainly think the Go 10.3 is still the best value choice. Now, if you do decide to get one of these, then you should, because they're excellent. And I do think that e-ink tablets have been nothing short of life-changing at work, at least, let's say. And if you do decide one of these is for you, and you do decide any one of these, then please check if I've got an affiliate link in the description. That just helps you say thank you for the help that I've given you in making that decision. It doesn't cost you any more to do that. So I'm just providing lots of free content to enable you to make that decision more confidently. And hopefully you enjoy being here and having this chat here as well, and seeing these things here. Yeah, like being able to make these comparisons is sort of the service that I'm offering, really. And I think they're really very useful. If you're just here lurking and interested, then no worries about that as well. It's great to have you all here. If you can support when you do make that purchase decision, whenever it's right for you, then I'd be grateful if you could help me just by using one of those affiliate links. It's how the thing works on YouTube, really. It's how the content gets paid for, how I'm able to put so much time into it, basically. But trust me, if you do go down this, once you replace your paper notebooks with an e-ink tablet, I can't imagine going back. And if you are already a user of an e-ink tablet, then do everyone a solid. And if you currently use an e-ink tablet, then confirm that. If you're watching on the replay, hello to you. Confirm that in the comments. Say which one you use, what you think of it, because the comments have become such a useful place under my videos of people sharing their opinions. And there's an amazing consensus under there of how good they are, how useful they are, people solving one another's problems when there's too many comments now for me to always be able to answer them. You're an amazing audience. It's really great to be here. And I'm really excited today because I've made these new these new little, what they call in the business, VTs. So I'm able just to say thank you very much and just have myself a little drink and get myself ready. And I'll be back with going through these categories for reading, for note-taking, for writing, and for other of these three devices, and we'll decide a winner. So thank you very much. Recently, my channel hit 50,000 subscribers, so thank you so much to each and every one of you who spend any time here watching my content. I'm always interested to hear what you've got to say, and I always value your comments and your questions to inform my content going forward. But I would absolutely love it if I could hit 100,000 this year, so please go ahead and make sure that you are subscribed, and let's run those numbers up to get to 100K in 2025. So let's do it then. So we're going to start with note taking, and I'm going to try and just do these in any order, and I'll get the comments and things like that and your chat as we go afterwards here. It's not ending. It's not ending. It's just getting going. Switch from Boox 10.3 nicely into Note F4C. Less feeling, but it is faster. Yeah, the processor is that bit better there. So we're going to start with Boox then and talk about note taking. For me, the note-taking here is about how well it can be integrated with different note-taking platforms. So actually, we'll come back to the note-taking software itself, but it's the one of these that you can actually use OneNote well. Now, I don't want to give away a lot of my planned content there, so I'll go to something else here. This is OneNote on my Boox Note Max here. I'll shift that into the middle while we're talking about it. Why not? And I find it really works quite well. And what I like about it is that I can work on here, and then that is in my Microsoft Cloud, and I can just what's difficult is talking and writing at the same time. And those changes are instantly available there. And I want to make a bit of a deal of this, that actually one reason I like OneNote, not only is it very useful for being able to sync with all my places, it's also nice to have this infinite scroll in OneNote. It's really nicely how you can organize all your things in these notebooks. It's really, really good. And it's great that you can use that across any device, including my phone, including a different Boox tablet. And yes, sure, you can get OneNote here. I have actually downloaded it, installed it, logged in on the Manta for OneNote, but it just isn't going to be the same experience at all. So it does work. It's a bit slower to load and things like that. And you can write on it and you can see all the things, but certainly it's not going to be a great experience drawing on it, because it's just going to be that laggy and flashing experience. Not great at all. So I think that is one reason why Boox is a really good note-taking platform, that you can actually use those. It's a really powerful tablet, and out of the three here that we've got here, this has got the best processors. And actually this time they've given us a really good processor, and you can tell that actually it is more responsive, it is quicker to load things, it is better in all of the different apps as well. So it is really good in using different apps. If you want to integrate with Obsidian, for instance, you can do that on Manta. No chance of doing that on reMarkable, of course, but you can do that on Supernote if you like, but you're going to have a better time on Boox. So that's what I would suggest there. But the software is sometimes a bit clunky. So if we go back into their own software, the software itself is a little bit, lacking at times in terms of how smooth it is to use. Now, I do like the new margins feature. This new, rather than it being canvas size, they used to call it, they've now called it margins. And the way that now works quite neatly is that you simply can expand your page in any direction you like. And actually, if you expand that out to its full size, then you really can get quite a large and sort of infinite zoom canvas going on. Now that's really quite nice now on the Boox, and that's Boox firmware 4.0, so that's on the Note F4C as well. And I think that's really quite neat. So you can imagine yourself doing some quite large flow charts and spider diagrams where you can zoom in to give yourself that extra room. I think that's really quite neat. I'm going to put it into its A2 mode, because that's not a good time so far there. Now if I go to somewhere I've already been using that, here, and you can have that be one of the pages can be like that, and the other pages can be normal as well. So go into my page view, scroll up. You see I've got quite a few notes here, but you can just see it's quite a clunky experience at times. Oh, where was I put it? Where did I put that? That's the one there, look. So this one here is actually one of these where I've started building out a bit of a flow diagram of my ideas about the Boox software 4.0. So there we go, that's that there. And actually it'd be nice just to be able to fill that page with notes. In it works just fine. Going over to the reMarkable next. The reMarkable is really inviting to use for note taking. There's no doubt about that. It really is simple. It is effortless. I was always attracted to the quick sheets function. The fact that anywhere you are, pretty much anytime, you can just get a quick sheet out and just start writing. And I find myself, once I start annotating on here, once I start making notes on the reMarkable, I just keep going, because I'm just enjoying that experience of writing. And it's got some of the lowest latency possible. Yeah, it's effortless and it is well thought out. They have gradually added things, you know, like the tags and things like that. And there are some other really neat features. One thing that I am really loving at the minute is the select underneath a line. So let's say you need to put in some content in between these two lines of your notes. You can select everything below the line. I don't know what didn't work there at the time. I wonder if that's simply because it's such an old workbook, maybe. But that does work. That does work just fine. We're going to certainly worked in other things. In the select tool, across it goes and hold. There we go. I've said it's simple and easy to use, and then it is really letting me down here, isn't it? Does it only work once you've scrolled down a little bit? If I just make some notes in under here. Yeah, select below. There we are. And so you can just make that room for an extra line of notes there. I think that's really quite nice. I wonder why it wasn't working in Quick Sheets. And now you can just infinitely scroll down as well. So I think that is well thought out. You know, when they add tools, they do add well thought out tools. It's just, I think that they are reluctant to add anything that could clutter the space up. And that's kind of a strength as well, isn't it? Really quite effortless there as well. And then over to the Supernote. And I do think the Supernote software, the note-taking software, is superlative. I think it really is the very, very best. What I love about it is being able to make a linked document. Just trying to think which one I have been working with, First Thoughts of Manta. And I'm really looking forward to going back to this and working with the Supernote to, you know, engage more in this space. And I do think if you're going to pick one and think that device is going to become my notebook, my planner, my everything, all my reading on it as well, I do think that the Supernote is the one to go for. I really like the fact you can organize yourself so well with to-dos and things like that. And most importantly, it's just the way that writing on it is engaging. And I just released a video talking about how this is the best writing feel, full stop. And it really is. I'm now talking about this. It feels like a canvas. Now, if you've ever drawn or written on some canvas or some really premium tight weave, the best paper you could possibly buy, this is what it feels like. But if you did that, if you always to buy those the very, very best all of the time, you would find that it cost you, yeah, probably as much as a Supernote Manta. But it's absolutely delightful writing on here. And it's like having a piece of canvas that you can reuse over and over and over again. I absolutely love it. And it makes me want to go back time and time again. It makes me want to make notes. And for that reason, I think that the Supernote is the one for note taking. So this is how this is going to work. I'm just going to give it 3 points for the winner here. And I'm going to give 2 points for the runner-up in each category and just 1 point for the last place in each category. And that way we're going to have a total at the bottom where we'll see which one wins. So I'll get some of your questions quickly and then I'll go back to the next little section here. Yeah, top notch, thank you very much. The best for drawing. Yeah, I've just released a video between the reMarkable and the Supernote, so that's one to check out there. If you just want black and white, I'd say having the Atelier app on the Manta is really, really good. It definitely OneNote, yeah, you can't use that, but at least it is there if you need to refer to it. Let's put it that way. Some useful extra buttons, keypads, remotes for some of the use cases, like turn the page and refreshing. I've got a video on a page turner. It's not something that I particularly need, but maybe it could be useful for some people. I mean, I think Bigme went down that with having like buttons on the pen, but they're just something that I've just barely ever used really, so I wouldn't really recommend that there. Most of them do, apart from the reMarkable now, Martin. So I have been using, and for drawing, I've been actually going back to the Staedtler Jumbo. I do think that's really, really nice. Two funny things. I was just using the Boox, and I'm switching back from the Manta to the Boox, and I actually went to touch the side of the Boox to use the eraser there, because you just get so used to these ways of working here on the Manta. It does become quite like second nature, and if you're looking to build out a second brain, the Manta is probably the place to do that. Yeah, no, it's interesting that they're not quite the same, Shane, because the Nomad is a glass back screen and the Manta is the plastic back screen, and that's what gives it that soft texture. I was talking about feeling like canvas. I don't feel like the Nomad really does feel like canvas. Still great, still a lovely texture, but it just doesn't press in as much. And actually, it doesn't press in as much when you use this one, but it still feels quite nice and soft, really. And you've got the other option there that the eraser works on the back, but as a sort of pixel eraser rather than an area eraser. Yeah, so it's really, really good. Yeah, that's a difficult one. I think I love the colors on the reMarkable Pro Education for drawing, but the accuracy of the stylus is better on the first one. Okay. Mostly take notes. Which one will be more fitting? Well, on this, and then go into the Supernote. But this is almost twice the price of a Boox Go 10.3, which you might want to go for, which is, if you're just starting and you're not sure whether you're going to love working on a e-ink tablet, then perhaps go with that. Let's fire on with reading. Let's just try and go from in the same order, shall we, as we did. So I think I started with the Boox, didn't I, each time? So for reading, and I just spent this bit of time setting this up for work just the other day. And, you know, reading and kind of really more like a reference, really. This is not going to become your bedtime reader, is it? This is the document that I teach off most of the time for my physics. This is where all my different activities come from. Tomorrow, if you're watching my class, then, well, with just this activity, they are actually feeding back on this, and then we're going to do this activity 27, the universal speed limit. So on here, I could highlight if I wanted to, and I could add annotations. It would go into a separate document. I could also, and you can see the size that I've got it here. I can scribble my scribbles directly on here, and I can export just my scribble pages if I like. I can also go into split view. I can do that in one of two ways. I can come in here and I can go into these extensive tools in the reader here. I can get a split view with handwritten notes next to it or text notes next to it. And I love this handwritten notes function because it makes a separate notepad. Like, let's say what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a notepad here where I had all my working out and I had a student book here or something like that. I could just have, I could do the questions right here next to a still quite large enough to read comfortably. If I wasn't happy with reading it like this, then I could always zoom in a bit and I could crop in. I've got all my different navigation views down here. I'm going quite quick because there's just so much to cover that it's a bit unbelievable. Yes, it's a lot to get your head around at first. When I'm done, I can just slide across there and I'm back to my reading here. I mean, it is just such a fully featured thing. It's a lot to manage at first, but you know, it's just the best reading app there is. For your basic PDFs and EPUBs and stuff like that, that's the thing to have. So yeah, I can't obviously use colors to do my highlights in here, but I can color code them, as in I can group them, and that's perfectly fine. Now, actually, I haven't even downloaded it yet, but of course, on Boox in general, you can download Kindle or any reading app you choose as well. So I just think for reading is a really, really excellent place for reading here. And there are options in Boox for color if you need color. However, if you really want the best color that you can get, and you're happy with the slow refresh of the Gallery 3, then of course, the reMarkable is a great place to go to. And it is almost the same size. It's 11.8. You can see, but that doesn't make in real world all that much difference. It is a really comfortable place for reading your reference PDFs still. Here's an example of a reference PDF. You can see I've got the colors brought through from that PDF. I can highlight in colors if I like. Can't do anything with the hyperlinks though to go to. It goes to a different page, my apologies. But of course, if it was hyperlinked to a web page, I was expecting that to go to a web page, but it didn't. But of course, you've got color images looking really good, color figures, so you can color code different types of decay, for instance, here. That is clearly a strength of the reMarkable if you need color documents. And turning that page, it's not too slow, is it? It's just fine, right? Okay, so for reading, yeah, it's a nice place to read, but you just don't have the options when it comes to different formats. PDF or EPUB is your options there. There's some flaws. One thing I do like about it is that you get the same writing tools that you do in the rest of the you get the same writing tools as you do in the rest of the device. So you really get used to using these tools. Still gets me every time, that does. So there's a nice flow to that. There really is. And of course, if you want to read comics at full size, providing you can find the right comics at PDFs or graphic novels or anything like that, then it can look really, really quite good on here. But I think I've done this comparison to death on my channel, so I'll leave that there. This is the closest to actually printed ink on paper in terms of reading, so that's good. The Supernote, lastly, I've got the same documents, I believe, on here, my teaching documents as well. But where are they though? Been a while since I used this one at work. So my A-level physics there, look. Perfect. Yeah, this is the same teacher pack here. And again, look, you can see I was only a couple of weeks before, as you would expect. I like the 2-finger page swipe, which just means it's optional. That just means that you don't get accidental page presses. If you, by the way, if you found you get an accidental page turns on the Boox device, then just remember to set where the page turn area is. So in your menu, you go more, and then you get settings, and then you get touch settings, and you want to choose mode 6 essentially. Something that I think a lot of people think, oh no, I get this, and then I'm getting all these accidental hand presses when I am annotating, and it's because by default it's on mode 1. You can see if you just touch anywhere on this side of the page on mode 1, then it turns the page, and that's really annoying. So I found that annoying at first until I discovered this setting, and you put it on mode 6, and then it never bothers you again. So that's one thing with Boox to remember, is that like there's so many settings that are kind of like wrong by default for some reason, and I do wish they would change them by default. But once you've figured them out, it's absolutely fine. One of the biggest strengths now for the Supernote is the digests. So something that you like the sound of, something that you need to know, you can put your 2 square brackets around. I'll zoom in and do another one. You can put 2 square brackets around, and that is taken out of the PDF and put into your digest here. And that's global across the whole thing. So you can see I've got 2 notes from this one here, and then I can open that and I can annotate here and keep that in my digest. And once I have digested it, I can bin that piece of work. So that's a really nice thing, I think, about how to use PDFs. And there's loads of strong ways you can use PDFs here on the Supernote. So let's sum this up then. Who's going to win in the reading category? Well, I think that the best here is going to be the Boox. I think you probably got that from my work there so far, my discussion there. And I do think that you have to give reMarkable the benefit, because for many of you, if you need large color documents for reading, I think that is a good strength there. And so the Supernote, I'm just going to give 1 for the reading category. I think that's quite right there. So on to writing next, and I will get some of your questions and comments before I go on to writing. Yep, Dia says liking the digest feature. Yeah, absolutely good. And that's what I mean. If you buy a Supernote, then expect to just like use it as your one device. Know your way around it. Feel really comfortable on it. You'll love it. Writing feel stands out. Yeah, absolutely. It does. Yeah. So, and the writing will be more about, the writing category is going to be more about the whole flow of writing. And what can you do? Can you write essentially like long form documents and things on the tablet? Like the simplified PDF viewer of reMarkable books. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unified notes UI. Yeah, absolutely. Max looks incredible. Currently more ghosting than Casper. Yeah. Yep. We talked about that a bit, haven't we? Yeah, lots of a huge developer community on the reMarkable Paper Pro. Lots of things can be modified. Yep, they've always left it quite open. Absolutely, yeah, because it's a Linux, you can basically put a full-fledged desktop OS interface. That's really cool. That is really cool. Whether that's going to work well on Gallery Free is another question entirely. But yeah, split screener for studying. Yeah, e-ink Unplugged. Also some great content coming on e-ink Unplugged. So go and check the gentleman out. Can you export just the highlights? Yeah, absolutely, you can. I think you can do that on any of them, actually, incidentally, probably apart from reMarkable. I don't think they have a just, somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. I don't think reMarkable has a just export your highlights mode. The bigger screen is really nice. You're absolutely right for all of these uses, to be honest. And Drew's been loving his Nomad. Lovely to read that. It's my pleasure. I think they'll do a reMarkable 3 in autumn, and I hope it will just be like a upgrade from the reMarkable Pro, that kind of size, black and white, Wacom EMR. That'd be great. Okay, which is the smoothest when scrolling? That would be the Boox. Yep, for all of them. The Boox have got managing an e-ink screen down. They really have. Really done very well with that. Non-productive. I wish there was a way to move to a note between devices. I know Nomad and a reMarkable 2. Would love to move notes from Nomad to my reMarkable 2 and vice versa. Yeah, the best way to do it is to sort of bake it into a PDF and manage it that way. But no, there's not. The one that you can do that with, if you want to, because Boox is an Android tablet, you can actually have an Android app on the tablet. Now, I suppose what you could do on your Nomad is you could sideload the reMarkable app. I've never tried that, but you could do that. And then at least you could have in that direction, you could have the Nomad having the reMarkable notes on. So that's one thing you can do. Cool. Going to move on now to the writing. Yeah, thanks for very much for being here. Isn't this a nice bit of fun? I'm going to give myself just a moment, just to have a quick drink. Can't remember which one I pressed, but here we are. Thanks so much for being here and spending time with me on this live stream. I really enjoy engaging with you guys and answering your questions live. It's a massive support to me. Now, if you do decide that one of the devices that I review here on my channel is for you, then go ahead and check the links in the description. Because when you make a purchase for a YouTuber's affiliate links, you make it possible for us to keep making content for you. Thanks, you guys. What do you think of the new little inserts? Are they a bit more chill, bit more relaxed? Bit of a change from the same top-down view and view of my face, I thought. Cool. So I'm going to talk about writing now. I'm going to start by talking about writing on the Boox. And there's two places that I do writing on the Boox, which is in Word or in Docs. And both of them work really well. And I do this. I was working on, in fact, I was testing out the Viwoods update. I'll talk about that. So I wasn't actually working on this, but I do actually use writing on both Word and Docs on e-ink tablets very often. Now, the nice thing about this is it suits your workflow. So whatever your workflow might be, so here's the work I was doing recently, great practical lessons, the article I'm writing. The e-ink workflow works really nicely, and shortly we're going to have the keyboard case coming for this. I've got a tracking link, but not got a date yet. So you'll see that on my channel pretty soon. So you're going to have a keyboard case. I mean, I've just been setting it up and using it in sort of laptop-ish mode with a Bluetooth keyboard. Now I do switch this between lots of different tablets, so I'm imagining it's not just going to wake up on command with this one. I was using it on the... Oh, it did. There we go. So that's connected straight away. Here we are. Yeah, and so that is actually a really nice experience of typing. really nice experience typing away in the cloud copy of my article. So just delete that, and all the keyboard shortcuts you'd expect work. So great. You've now got fully fledged word processors at your fingertips. It's going to be a good time. You can also have that open in split screen, and I've shown that before as well. Great. The thing is, this suits many workflows. And they do have a text note, and actually typing in the text note is pretty darn good as well. And it does have handwriting to text mode, although I don't tend to use handwriting to text mode myself. What I do use is just to show the keyboard, even though it's connected at this point, I do use this handwriting input keyboard. And that's so I don't write a page on a Boox tablet. I don't find myself writing a full page and then sort of converting the whole thing to text, which is what you'd do on the reMarkable. I find myself just using this handwriting keyboard. Delete that. And just write wherever I want to write. I don't even have to write in the box. If I can spell, it'll recognize it better, won't it? Handwriting keyboard. Yeah, it got it. Okay. So that's good, isn't it? And that's just sort of everywhere you want it to be. So occasionally I use that input. If I'm not hooked up to a keyboard, then I use that input there. Don't always use that, but I do use that, and it does work. I don't do full pages of handwriting recognition here. Next, in the same order we're going through here, is writing on the reMarkable, and I really enjoyed writing on the reMarkable. I really did. Okay, that is, it's going to suit some people more than other people, I think, writing on the reMarkable, because it is stripped right back. But this is your workflow on the reMarkable, is start by writing an outline. Let's go to one of the short stories I've written on here. I think if you go back, yeah. So I started by writing an outline. This is an outline of a story. These are the story beats, if you like. And then I did handwriting conversion on the page. So I just literally thought about the different things I was going to do. Here's the handwriting conversion. And then I just started typing on that. So actually I've done the handwriting conversion a second time, but what I did then is I took this page and I opened the tablet up into this view, and it automatically rotates. You can change the margins to be whatever you want them to be. And now you can type away. And they have got this right. But unfortunately, this is not a great word processor. This is a very, very simple word processor. And although you do have the keyboard shortcuts you might expect, okay, you don't have everything. And I do like their short link to different formatting. And I do think they've picked a beautiful font and everything like this. And it is a nice place to write. And the idea that actually if you write on here, you can really focus in. I did find that happened. I did find that I really did focus in, and I did write a nice thing. And I wasn't thinking about anything apart from what the words were, how to write the story. So that is good. And then you can annotate it. They've got this review mode, which gets rid of all that. And you can use your marker to select things and work on them. It's just much more writer focused with none of the clutter. But honestly, icons don't really bother me all that much, but this is good. It was a good time, was very happy with it. And I like the way it automatically rotates. They have really thought that through, but it's so basic that you're not even getting spell check or grammar, which is a very basic feature, which I'm sure they could just pull off open source somewhere really easily. Writing on the Supernote then, well, one thing is the automatic recognition. So when you create a notebook, it asks you whether you want it to be a real-time recognition or a standard one. So if you were a serious writer, you'd probably be going for a ruled template maybe, or there's loads of options of templates. I might go for the dot grid template here. But if you were going to do a serious piece of writing, and again, they've got a similar handwriting recognition keyboard. which generally works quite fine as long as you slow down, print rather than join up, you know, that type of thing. And now what you're going to do is you're going to write long form. It's really inviting to write long form. But don't forget now, I've immediately started writing in my sort of italicized handwriting. Which I don't know whether it will fully get. But if I write slow and print it, then it will probably do okay. So let's now go and see my handwriting recognition. And the thing is, it's already done it. It's already recognized it, which is great. However, you can see it didn't recognize the bits that I was doing the slanted handwriting. It kind of almost there, Italianed, really winning to writing. Inviting was the word I used. So I think there'll be a lot of going through and correcting this. However, when you export it, you do get two choices. Yeah, so if I go text or docx, and docx, then you can edit it on the document as well. I can go original or reformat. Now, if it goes original, it will give me line by line. If I go reformat, it will give me all in a row. There it is. Now it's opening up in their word processor. Really, you know, it's all there, so it's all in a row there. So at least I don't have to go back and redo it line by line, but maybe there should be a shortcut for doing parentheses or something like that, or a paragraph or something like that would help it out quite a bit. But I can, of course, now, because I've enabled side loading on here, I can, of course, copy that, paste that, import that into Word if I like, and I can work on Word as well. And actually Word works quite well. However, the typing isn't great on here. It's certainly not as quick as it is on your Boox device if you wanted to go that way. So really good time writing on the Manta. Great workflow, probably not as strong a workflow, and it won't fit into any workflow that you want to use. Yes, you can use Google Docs on there as well. Again, it's just not perfect. So I have gone for writing, Boox being the top one there. I think certainly this iteration, this larger size Boox is great for writing at that size. Supernote second there, and reMarkable number one. Now, none of them are bad. None of them are bad. And the last category I'm going to go for is other, but I'll just have a quick look and read any of these comments. Now, just bear in mind, Avi's made a joke in the last one. Just brought the Note Air 4C on your recommendation. What's your current address in case of the bust? Yeah, it's likely not to be. Now, I get asked that quite a bit, actually, about Boox devices, whether they are too fragile or whatever. But I've had quite a few, and I've never had one fail on me. So take that for what you will. I have had other devices fail on me, so I think you'll be all right there. Let's have a little look. I think we were using the reMarkable at this point here. I'll talk about Viwoods in a little while. I've just picked, Christian, the sort of three top brands for this one. I've tried to go beyond three in a comparison. It just gets a bit unmanageable. So I'm kind of keeping it simple. There's other things we can do to compare things in future, though, just for fun. Yep. Price of the RM2 and the Supernote are bigger than their difference to Boox, but worse note-taking holds me back. So yeah, that's an interesting one. So Boox, better value, but the other two you're thinking is going to be a better experience note-taking. I don't know that you're wrong there in any way. Yeah, worried about the fragility of the Boox. Yeah, so this is one thing that did worry me about the Big Note Max. I'll be entirely honest with you, but it hasn't. Since when I took it out of the box, I realized it is sturdy. It is a good aluminium build. It is strong. It's not going to break. I felt fine actually squeezing it into my bag. Literally, it was having to be squeezed in along with my 15-inch laptop as well, and it's been fine. So you know, I haven't completed my 2 weeks working with it, but I will let you know if I have any issues with that, but it did just see just fine. Right, yeah, interesting one. So this one, Note F4C, it was really terrible, very slow, very user unfriendly. Yeah, agreed. They messed up the usability. And I think that's it. I think what happens with a lot of people with books is that they initially find it quite a steep learning curve. You have to learn that thing, and then it starts to become a more productive tool. So I agree with you in a way, but I think that once you're over that learning curve, well, I don't think I know. Once you're over that learning curve, actually you get used to it, and it does make sense and it does work. It's just clunky, as I said earlier on, for note taking. And I think that's right. You've discovered, Moenzo, that you didn't want to go up that learning curve. You just wanted the straightforward one to use, and I think that that's perfectly reasonable. I do think that's the case. Okay, so and Christina says, "Well, I've seen the Note F4C. Happy I stayed with my 3C." Yeah, but they've improved. They are improving things. It's just in the update that I got today, it said it's going to go through a deep optimization process. It's really interesting. Like, so it's going to spend 3 days optimizing devices, optimizing apps. I've never heard any update telling me that, but that's an interesting one. I hope that's going to improve things. Well, I could just see if it's still doing that. In fact, I did see earlier on if it was still doing the horrible thing. The only thing that really gets laggy with the 4C, it's mostly zippy. There's anything perfectly fine to get around. There are no issues apart from in the 4C drawing app. It's this tilt pencil. When it's on large size, so watch, gets slow. And that doesn't happen even when it's on smaller size. Yeah, it's just when it's dealing with a lot of pixels all at once. So I think there's just a big issue with that tool there as well. So I don't think there is I don't think you needed to upgrade onto it from your 3C, that's for sure. But I don't think there's a major issue with the Note F4C. Okay, so let's get on with the last category. This is the other category. This is about flow. It's about creativity. It's about the feel of the device. It's about the fit in your life and everything like that. It is the subjective category, let's say. And it's an important one, I think, because I think that people do make subjective connections with these devices. They aren't simply functional devices. They're things that actually, just like your notebook, you make a connection with, and you feel like you feel good about writing it, you feel good about using it. Reading, it's your companion for those most reflective moments of your life, and I think that's a really important thing. So where are we up to? So we're going to start on books again. So with books, I think it's an example of form follows function. It's a very, it is out of these three, it is the worst designed of the three of them. That is not saying it's a bad design at all. And actually, I think, they've worked hard, making them sturdy, making them attractive. And I think that the design of the user interface, design extends to the actual user interface and the choices they've made there. I think, I think it is objectively the least well designed of the three. And so it is harder to make a personal connection with the books, I'll be honest with you. It is a jack of all trades. I do, however, think it is a master of fun, and I think there's loads to love about it. If you want to be able to make this your own, I mean, look, I've set this up for work. I've got my work Outlook on there. I've got my work Office 365 separate to my home, my personal login Office 365 as well. So, there's loads of things that you can really love about this. Sure, I don't watch YouTube on it, but, you can reference it. You can get around. You can make it your own. And that, I think, is the important thing for these. Okay. The reMarkable. There's a very iPad feeling about its design and its functionality. Well, no, it's functionality, that's not right. About its, the sort of luster of it, the attractiveness of it. You can really tell they've gone for that. Oh, you've got the reMarkable. The kind of the iconic nature of the design. They've gone for a design which is designed to be sort of viewed and known, and sort of people recognize the color of it, that pink sheen to it. People recognize the edge of it. people will see it, you know, and say, oh, that's the reMarkable. And they've done that. They've it's a very exacting design. Everything about it is like, to a fault, it is like perfectionism. And I think that's one of the issues with it, is that they're afraid to try things, apart from having been brave to try the Gallery 3. They're afraid to add features for fear of it losing that quality that they've so well marketed of the simplicity. So I think that there are good things and there are bad things with that, but it's smooth. And to go back to yeah, the very useful comment. I'm really sorry. It was Moenza, yeah. Moenza here, yeah, talking about using the next paper, which is the kind of like faux e-ink LCD tablet. You know, I've used the Lenovo, which was good for that as well. And it having the matte screen protector on the iPad, I'm sure is great as well. Sorry, not matte screen protector. The, what do they call it? Nano texture, I'm sure on the iPad is really good as well. And of course, the next paper is quicker than the Boox, but it's a full Android tablet with an LCD screen. But I think that you're right, Moenzo, that having something to learn, having some barrier, makes it not smooth to use, makes it jarring and takes you out of flow. The reMarkable, they do not want to ever take you out of flow. And there is credit to that, there's merit to that. You know, there's a saying that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And actually, your brain can go quicker when it isn't being interrupted, having to figure out problems. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, that's interesting. Asian culture, complex UI is seen as a positive. Western desire for simplicity, and I think probably Scandinavian desire for simplicity as well. And this is a Norwegian company as well. Boox are more of an Asian market focused company first and a Western company second. Yeah, Boox are big in China, obviously, as well. Thanks. This is a useful conversation. I'm loving it. I like the big chin on the reMarkable, Jeff. Like, makes sense when you hold it like this, right? And actually, the device makes sense in landscape. I also, being a designer, like, I can tell you that if I ever design something with it's rectangular in shape, I will have more space at the bottom than I will at the top. Like, you know, in Word, when you draw a table and you do the cell margins, you know, because everyone goes as far as to format their tables in Word and get the cell margins just so, don't they? Well, I'm the type of person that changes the margins so the one at the bottom is larger than the one at the top. I have the top, left and right to be a smaller margin, the one at the bottom to be larger, because design-wise, that's correct. Now, it is a classical design principle. That's where that's from. So yeah, we can all have our opinions on these things, but there is, in classical design, there's a right and a wrong, and they did want to get a classical feeling to this device, and that's one of the reasons why it's got the big chin. Okay, so interesting point though. Loads of things here. You know, this shows, doesn't it, why this last category, the subjective category, is actually rather important. The Supernote though, it's just the right size for an ink tablet. It's the classic size. Yes, it is dwarfed by these two today, but actually it's the best-selling size. It is, you know, probably because it presents good value, but this isn't cheap, this one. As I talked about earlier on, when writing on it, it's just like writing on canvas. Absolutely love it. I love drawing on it because it feels like drawing on canvas as well. Loads of things that I really do enjoy about this tablet. That, as I said, the feeling of being invited in to write by the feeling on a tablet is very satisfying. It's something, yeah, it's warm in its design. It's not got any metal. It's not got magnets. It's elegant. Although it's not as thin, it feels thinner because it's got this half folio and because it's got this tapered edge. It's very personal. It feels very much like you've been given this and trusted with it, and you're going to be able to use it to do whatever you wish with it. It feels like your place where you can really do that blue sky thinking, and it's very professional looking as well. It's the right device in the right place at the right time, and for me, it is going to win the subjective category here as well. So here we go. Supernote wins the subjective category, followed by the reMarkable, followed by the Boox. So let's add up the totals, everybody. What do you think? I'm interested to see as well what you guys thought would be the case. So let's just have a look at the poll there that you guys, this is your voting as well. I couldn't find the right one. Here it is. Just refresh that. And yeah, here we are. Okay, so you guys have decided, it's a nuisance having two screens open at once. There we go. You guys have decided, yeah, Supernote reigns supreme, followed by Boox, followed by reMarkable. That's obviously what you, it's not just what you think I was going to say, and you did think I was going to say Manta was going to come out on top, followed by Boox Go 10.3, or followed by Boox, basically, followed by reMarkable. And I don't know whether this one split the Boox vote, maybe, because I am comparing the companies, the overall companies here. But yeah, Supernote reigns supreme, followed by Boox, followed by reMarkable is what you guys have gone for. So let's have a little look at this. Let's add all these up. Go back to seeing me as well. Why not? Because they said I'm nice. So for Boox, 8, Supernote, 9, reMarkable, 7. What's that? So it has occurred, everybody. The Supernote in this ranking for the core things that an e-ink tablet should be, I think I'm right in saying that this is a fabulous e-ink tablet and deserves a place at the very top of everyone's list. It is a brilliant thing. They have really, done a very good job. Just love this chat, really do. Yeah. Quite like reading on the Manta. Yeah, it's a Carta 1300 screen. Manta is underpowered right now. I think they'll change my tune when the X3 update comes out. That's fascinating. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but yeah, one thing they've talked about is not just user repairable, but user upgradable. So that could well be making a new screen, a new screen module, if you like, and adding that in. It could well be changing out the whole SoC for something more powerful. And that's an interesting one. Maybe, just maybe, the next thing for Supernote is actually allowing you more of an Android experience, allowing you something like that as well, and still retaining all of those things. So we will see. Okay, yeah, you know me too well. But so many of you did think the Boox was all just like permanently on the top of my list. Yeah, I could tell you some stories about the Boox in there. Yeah, the Boox UI is very bad. Cost you productivity is very annoying. Yeah, and as I used OneNote on the Boox because I don't love the note-taking app, but I do love the OneNote interaction. Interesting. Yeah, the Manta has great apps. reMarkable have great apps. Boox don't need great apps because you can actually use whichever apps you want to use, in my opinion. Cool. So great things. Christina says, I don't find ghosting bad on Manta at all, unless I'm in a child room, a cold room, I guess I was meant to say. But swipe refresh fix it. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Christina, how the temperature affects the temperature affects the e-ink quite a lot, doesn't it? Really fascinating. It's funny as well because sometimes they get delivered and I'm really excited to get them out of the box, and they've been on a cold van for the last few hours, or even been up in the air in a cargo hold, so they're freezing cold or something like this, and the first impression is always pretty bad for that. Hate to say, my use case for reMarkable is just totally out of the conversation for these. Lack of app support would kill my workflows. Yeah, fascinating. So yeah, and then that's the thing. I love Supernote for this, that they obviously can do side loading. They're not saying they recommend it, but they're like, well, everyone's asking us for it, so we can just add it in, because it would be kind of rude not to allow you to do it. But no, well, reMarkable, it's a Linux system, let's not forget, so it isn't as easy as just enabling apps there. But they have no interest in doing that because it's just not part of their whole ethos. So here we are then. Here's something that I prepared earlier to give me a little breather, and we'll come back and we'll talk about where these two new devices are going to go into the top 10. So don't go anywhere. The Supernote A5X2 Manta is ideal for users who are seeking a dedicated note-taking device with a focus on the writing experience. It's got a superior writing feel. I love the lightweight design and the thoughtful software features, which are just made for your note-taking. The ceramic pen nibs, they don't wear down, so they never need replacing. And it feels like a ballpoint pen on some canvas. The two touch sliders give you quick access and lots of useful shortcuts. And it's all there in a distraction-free environment in the software. It does lack a front light, and that might be a drawback if you need to read in low light conditions. People love the minimalist design and the exceptional writing experience. And Supernote have taken a really sustainable approach with a fully user upgradable and user repairable tablet. So cool, what do you think of my new little inserts? I've got a few of those, might play a couple of more of them later on as well. Let's have a little look through this, this top 10 next. Would I recommend the Manta for journaling? Yes, I certainly would, absolutely. Yeah, I would. All of those things, reading, note-taking, journaling, great time on the Manta, absolutely no doubt. It isn't cheap. That's the one thing. I think the one reservation I have with putting it at the top of those three, but all of those three were expensive. So let's see if I can really recommend where to put it in my top 10. So this is my top 10 as of September 24. Yeah, Tab Mini C, great little tablet. Kindle Scribe, great price, good hardware, nothing wrong with that device. Really simple thing. Supernote A6X2 Nomad, absolutely. Certainly if you think that you want the Supernote experience, but maybe this one is a little bit too rich for you, that's totally understandable. You could try it out with the Supernote Nomad and it wouldn't break the bank. Still not cheap though, and yeah, unfortunately. Bigme Inknote X. Now I'm actually going to take the Bigme Inknote X out, not because I think it's a terrible device or anything, it isn't, but I'm going to take it right out of the list. Because right now, would I recommend it? No, I wouldn't, because I mean, that isn't their current best line of devices. They're going with this B1051 system in this size. And they've got a whole range of devices of those. And I think that, you know, you'd be better to go in with the latest device if you did think that Bigme was right for you. And I'm also going to take Boox Tab X out for a similar reason. That's no longer their sort of device at the 13.3 size. If you were thinking of Boox Tab X before, then now you're almost certainly thinking of Note Max. The only benefit really of the Tab X is the whiter screen and front light. But I wouldn't trade the 300 ppi and the Carta 1300 for that. So what about the Viwoods AI paper? And the other four are definitely staying. And I think Viwoods AI paper does deserve its place in this list. I really do. I think before, people were a bit surprised that I put it in there, having not had a majorly positive review of it. But I've just been, well, I've got it updated now because mine was a, what do you call it? A pre-production unit. I had to manually update it, but now it is updated. And yeah, I can tell you they've improved things. The software, some of the kinks that I wasn't enjoying before are gone. For instance, now it works just fine with the title recognition on the page here as well. I still don't think that there's much to say about the sort of AI integration. It's not my thing really here. And well, if I want to use AI on here, what I'll do is, well, I'll install ChatGPT and just use my login and my account of this. So haven't logged in and tried that yet. Would be nice if I could map that AI button to launch any app that I like. That would be useful. But what they have improved is that now you can bind it to Google Play services, and here it is, full Google Play Store. And incidentally, ChatGPT, I can't install that on Boox for some reason, but I can install that on Viwoods. So that's a useful thing. OneNote though isn't working well on here. So, you know, they are still behind. Yeah, I'm going to erase it somehow. You can just see it's not going to be a nice use of OneNote, although they've managed to get scrolling, although they've managed to get scrolling working quite nicely, even in the normal refresh mode, the best display mode, they've managed to get scrolling just working just fine. And actually, it is true that the contrast on here is great. The screen, the basic hardware, and that's why it's in that list, because the basic hardware is really good. It is good. It is also as thin as it could be. It's 4.5 millimeters thin. It's Wacom EMR stylus with some really nice, and you've got options of different nibs that you can use. You've got a pen with eraser on the back and function button on the side, although for some reason you can't map it, or I haven't found out how to map it to a highlighter yet. So if anyone knows how to highlight that, it'll be they were yeah. Are you I'm hoping, Neil, that you are a Southampton fan. I really are, and you're not just taking the mick. Sorry if that's the case, but you know, Southampton will always be back, won't they? So they'll bounce back from this season. Where are we up to? So the Carta 1300 is really good, and it's amazed us all how much sort of brighter this is, the Carta 1300, compared to the, yeah, it's brighter look than the Manta, and it's brighter than the Carta 1300 on the Note Max. So I don't know what they've done there, what secret sauce Viwoods have done, but Viwoods, I'll go into this main view now. Viwoods have managed to make their Carta 1300 better looking than every other Carta 1300 device that I have so far. So I don't know why that is, and they have, and that's why it's still on the list. Its software just isn't quite as mature as the Boox, and that's saying something, and it's certainly not as nice a place to work as the Manta. So it is staying in the list. I think that's correct. It's only got better since I put it there, and at number 5, it's amazing how much whiter it is compared to the other Carta 1300. I'd love somebody technical to explain that to me one day, why that's the case, but at the minute we just got to say it is. Okay, so where are they going to go? So, well, let's just say after that experiment we've just done, that the two devices are certainly going near the top. The question is, do they go above the Note F4C and the Go 10.3? I wonder. That's the kind of question that I have. Good. Love it. Yeah, great to hear that. We'll. When I scheduled this live stream, Neil, the next day I was like, oh no, I've scheduled it on United Day, but I'll be all right. This is good fun too. Okay, so where's it going to go? Where's the Note Max going to go compared to the Boox Go 10.3? I do think that right now the Boox Go 10.3 might well be the only main difference is the size, and the Note Max has the note taking. But really, the only thing that the Go 10.3 has above the Note Max, I think, in honesty, is the price. It's a great value tablet. So I think I'm going to now put the Boox Note Max in at number 2. I think that's fair. I think, honestly, you just talk about on merit, I think it's a great price for that size of tablet. Great hardware in terms of the processor that's in there. Yeah, it's got the latest Carta 1300. It's got a great Wacom EMR stylus, all of those things. It's super thin for its size. It's going to have the keyboard case. Lots to like. Things that you don't have on the Go 10.3. I do think, yeah, there's benefits over the Go 10.3 for the Note Max. And then that just leads me to say right now, what I think is the very best e-ink tablet you can buy right now, the Supernote Manta. I really do think that this is, when I was using this, there's just something that was just right about it. And I've really loved using it, and I'm looking forward to going back to it at some point after I've tested out the Note Max. And I think the Note Max will find a great place here on my desk at home. It'll be my great place for writing for lots of the core uses of e-ink. Then I think the Note Max will be right there. But I think that right now, what is the best you can buy And again, the only reason not to is probably in your region. If the Supernote is too expensive, that's a difficulty of it. Sure, there are still loads of reasons why you'll go with any of these tablets on the list, and the Go 10.3, lots of reasons still to buy that. Absolutely. It's still perhaps the easiest one to recommend at that price, but it doesn't mean it's the best. And this is my top 10. And I think everyone should pay attention to the Supernote A5X2 Manta. It was well worth the wait. I can't get away from this, can I? Even when I've said put the Manta on the top, I'm still getting criticized and argued for being sponsored by Boox. No, I actually have no reason to recommend any of these above the other ones. I think I have affiliate deals in the description for all of these, as we've discussed earlier on. That really does support me. There's no reason for you to buy any of these over and above the other ones. Just isn't. And I could tell you that, yeah, I could tell you there's a different sort of percentage that you earn for each one's affiliate deals, and in no way does this represent the highest percentage I get at the top. So let's be fair. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. And you know, that whole thing, you know, we can just leave that, I hope, to one side, because that's how this works. That's how the whole thing on YouTube works. And I've spent a lot of time comparing and analyzing these, and that isn't a list of ones I think you should buy for any other reason than on a objective comparison of the features. And I hope that's been useful. And yeah, it's a difficult choice, isn't it, Dave? Absolutely. And that's what I hope my content enables you to do, is be a bit confident when you can't see these things in the shops. That's what I'm here for, really. Yeah, Dave, is it portable enough in a laptop bag? I mean, it just squeezes into my laptop bag, but in the same pocket as a laptop, which isn't great. But Jay's saying he's carrying it with him everywhere, and it's great. But I do think that this size, the Manta, one of the reasons for this is, you know, that is just such an easy thing. It's so light. It's just like as light as a small book, you know, a thin book, and just chuck it in. It's great. Yeah, the Note Max about the size of a 13-inch laptop, absolutely, but a lot thinner. Yeah. Not sure what you mean by this, Matteo. Tried taking note on slide with the Manta. Is that a different app? No, I haven't tried it. It's a different app there. I know there's another video on it. Didn't catch all this one. Something came up part way. Cool. So yeah, awesome. Next to Go 10.3 for context. Yes, I can. Still think the Go 10.3 is great. I mean, a really obvious comparison in the in another video might be Go 10.3 and Viwoods and Manta. That would be a really good one, because they're all 300 ppi, all no front light, all as thin and light as they can make them. Great things here. Yeah, really, really good times, all of them. Manta currently, though, that's the one. Manta certainly looks great, and love the slide gestures. Love to try that out. Yeah, it's just something I said earlier on about how what you can do is as you get to know this platform, it becomes really second nature. Oh, Dave, I'm really feeling you. I really am here. Okay, I'm just going to spend a few more moments having a look through the comments, and then I'll do a really quick what would I buy if, just to play it out. And I think one thing that I will say is, so if you've got any of those, finish those sentences. What would you buy if? And I'll just do that towards the end of this stream. Yeah, fire in the chat any of those, because I do think there's something, maybe if I was like on my way to the proverbial internet store, if I was walking down to the shop, I was walking towards the Supernote Manta checkout, I do think that probably just as I was about to get into there, probably this big guy would catch my eye, and I'd be like, yeah, do you know what, actually, e-ink at 13.3 is a really good time, maybe at this price, and not too much more expensive. That is the challenge for the Manta. If you're spending your own money, then that really does come into it. And I know that I'm in a privileged position of having people send me these things out to compare them for you, so I can provide you with this content here. Yeah, I think that there's a strong chance that I would think, yeah, I'll spend that same cash on the much bigger screen, because remember, a lot of this money does go into that screen. But for buying this Manta, you're getting into the best e-ink writing feel, the best software, the most bespoke, the best community of people. Great to hear the comment of Ed on with organizing for change. Yeah, absolutely. Does some great things about different workflows with the Manta. It's a device that you can love and get into. And I really think I would say, yeah, definitely look at this. Definitely, this is the one now where I would say, don't ignore this. Don't sleep on this. Don't not take this one into account right now. And incidentally, if we're talking about the bezels, it's got that same thing, that classic design of the wider bezel on the bottom there. Lots of reasons. Yeah, they are bringing a split screen. That is something that they said they will do. Yep. Yeah, Shermanator saying, yeah, 100-day warranty. Great thing. If you're not sure and you think reMarkable is on your list, then that's definitely worth doing. Oh yeah, yeah, Sheets or PowerPoint. And I haven't tried that on the Manta, no, but I have used PowerPoint on a Boox device in the past. Yeah, Carl, I think they'll be working on it. I think maybe we've discovered why it was delayed from what we've seen. I think that they will be working on it. So I'll just, if you've got any of those questions where you might stick in what kit, what would you buy if, put those in the comments just now. I'll be back in 50 seconds and we'll finish the stream there. I just want to take a moment to talk about my membership offer. There are 3 tiers of membership. Firstly is the advanced view evaluators, and people love to see my videos before they go live to the public. The next tier is members only videos. And this year I'm increasing the number of members only videos that I put out each month. It's amazing to me that my channel is at the point where I can't respond to every single comment that I get. I try my best to get around to as many as I possibly can, but as a member in any tier, I'll always respond to your questions first. And I do know that many of you have questions about your specific use case. And the last tier is my office only tiers, where I'll offer you a call every quarter if you join that tier. So you can discuss and get advice about which one might suit you, but also how you can integrate these into your work life. I really appreciate that many of you want to support the channel in this way, and this is just a bit more than giving a super thanks on a live stream. So thank you once again. Awesome, thank you very much, and very sincerely. So what would I buy if? I've got one so far, chuck them in there. If you're a uni student, probably the Go 10.3, just because less expensive, although the Manta would be on that list as well, as would be the Go 10. The Note Max, the big one, because, well, it's just big for all of those researchers. And I think Boox, though, for getting things from and to web portals, really, really good. I'm not sure which one are you talking about, the Manta. Sure, you know, that's been a difficult one there as well. Any more what would I buy ifs? Which one has the best real estate, screen size versus device size ratio? Well, it's almost certainly the Note Max at this point, I think. Absolutely huge screen, not very large bezels there as well. Ordered Note Max, but now I want the Supernote. Sorry, mate. Note Max is great though. Like, all of them, if they're on this list, then they're great. So don't just change your mind based on one live stream, will you? Got Max 3 days ago. Oh, we've done that one with Carl. Thank you. Appreciate you all for being here and the kind words as well. What would I buy if size and weight was a major concern? Would the Nomad satisfy reading and note taking? Yes, it would. Not having the Kobo app, but you could put the Kobo app on there. And I think for side loading, what I would suggest is you stick for apps like that. You stick to apps like Kindle or Word, or Readwise has been mentioned here as well. I would say that those are fine. If it's an app which works with words, if that makes sense, like for reading, it's going to work pretty well here on the Supernote. So I wouldn't be shy of anything like that. Sure, graphic novels and things aren't going to be great, but that would be the thing. Kobo app will work just fine. What would you buy if it was for work meetings and never left your desk? Then yeah, the Note Max, almost certainly. If it was just never to leave my desk right now, having that big size would be great. But the Manta would be a great choice as well. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was laughing for a reason there. What was I up to? That one there. What would I buy if it was on the go for everywhere, spur of the moment note taking? Manta. Yeah, Supernote Manta, almost certainly. Yep. Yeah, that's great to hear for the person that asked that Cobra question. Thank you very much. Anymore, what would I buy if you love the feel of pencil on paper, then probably it's reMarkable. Probably reMarkable 2 was the most pencil on paper like feel. But the reMarkable Paper Pro certainly is a pencil-ish feel. And you get the great pencil tools as well. What would I buy for doing a bullet journal? Definitely the Manta, because you can link forward and backward to pages or to different documents, all those things. Definitely the Manta for bullet journal. What do I buy if I was company policy writer for meeting notes and writing on PDFs? Not great on the Manta. Yeah, for that, I would buy the Note Max for sure. If you need to review a lot of policies, they're going to be formatted for A4 size PDFs. Definitely the Note Max right now. So if size was the main reason I got the Tab Mini C, wanted the super portability, considering the Max because of how big it is. So yeah, so you'd have then one Boox that could go with you in color and one Boox that sat on your desk in black and white. Perfect in combo. I think that's a really great idea. What would I buy for writing feel? Sketching a little here. Reading PDFs was priority number 1, but also a broke student. Maybe the Kindle Scribe. I'd be looking at a refurbed Kindle Scribe probably and aiming to get a tablet for somewhere in the region of 250 at the most. Maybe even less. Refurbed or secondhand would be my choice there if you're absolutely broke. If not, if you could go that far, it would be the Boox Go 10.3 for you. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you all for spending time with me this evening. It has been fun. Hope you enjoyed it.